Hello, my friends. I do not post very frequently. That is because I post only when I have something significant to say. I was thinking about a unique topic, and that is how to become smart, how to learn more difficult and brainy subjects easily. Has it ever happened to you that someone in your class or in your group was so quick in uptake learning things that it he seemed like a genius, and you thought to yourself, how can I be like that? If this was ever the case, I can give you some tricks or tips which will make you kind of a genius. First of all, my qualification to address this topic is that at times I have been uh, called intelligent, and on some occasions I was called a genius, only because I can very quickly understand difficult subjects like mathematics and computer programming. But let me tell you something, it has to do nothing with being intelligent and being smart. Uh, there are a few tricks involved. So let's talk about them. The first point is the most important point, so I'll dwell on that for longer. Once upon a time, I was explaining some software that I developed to another friend of mine. He listened to it for half an hour and he could not understand it. So finally, he said, maybe you are too smart for me. I cannot understand this stuff. It took me more than half an hour. What he did not knew was that it took me 3 months to come up with the solution and to understand the problem. In fact, it was more than 3 months. I gave up the first two times, and it was a long battle and struggle behind that. Do you ever know that in 1905 Einstein wrote his theory of relativity and revolutionized the physical world? But it took him 10 more years to sort out the details of that theory and to sort out the mathematics. Actually, Einstein was awarded a Nobel Prize in 1923, if I am right. However, the point is, from 1905 till 1923, he kept on working on the same set of problems. So, the point I want to make it, we become smart when we think for a very long time about a very small problem. Think about it. We cannot be smart in everything. Like Einstein was a genius, yes, but in physics, not in football. In football, we have Pele or Maradona. Those were called geniuses. But they were not geniuses in boxing, where we have Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali. So every field has its own geniuses. The longer you stay in a field, the more chances you have of acquiring all the nitty gritty or jargon or in depth knowledge of that area. So the first thing is, we have got to concentrate or focus on a very small problem for a very long time. For example, if you are in a stock market business, you have got to give it time, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and only then will you reach somewhere. Now, it is not necessary that after giving 10 or 20 years, you will become genius in that field or you will become even good at that field. But staying in a field for a long time is absolute must. This is where the story actually begins. The second point is not related to learning difficult topics or understanding difficult concepts. And that is, most of the people that I have seen who are very smart in understanding such things, they are okay with confusion. What it means is, let's suppose if a normal person is exposed to a difficult mathematical problem or something related to computer science, when all the jargon are unleashed onto him, he will freak out and he will say, this is too difficult for me. On the other hand, the people who are considered smart, will just get hold of one or two or three things that they can understand and forget about everything else and concentrate on that. Now, from this, we can take out 2 points. Number first is to acquire a new knowledge, you need to have some hooks on which you can hang them. And any piece of information that your brain has previously serves as a hook. Any new coming information gets attached to it, and it is like a jigsaw puzzle, and the picture gets clearer and clearer in your brain the more pieces you collect and place them at right places. So the people who we think are smart, they are actually okay with not knowing many things. The second important point that we can take out from this is that learning any difficult thing is an iterative process. When you bang your head against anything difficult, may it be a social situation, you may just understand a part of it. But keep in mind that this is just the first iteration. If you keep doing it again and again and again, it will get easier and easier and easier. So, like a mathematician or a physician or a physicist, they all have been doing these things for lifetimes, and only then they get good at it. It's not that their first class they came out with a theory or something like that. So you have got to stick with it, give it time. Now, to conclude, I'll just add two other important points. First of all, a question arises that why is everybody not a genius? If just giving it time, hanging in there, iterative nature of the things is requirement, why is everybody not a genius? So we need two things for it. Number one, you need to be in a progressive field, a field where you are not repeating the same thing over and over again, but you are learning new things every day. And the second thing is you need to have a desire to be great and to learn something and to make yourself better. Regarding the first point, what if you are working in a post office? What is there for you to learn every day? So even if you work there for 20 years, you will almost be the same person. Yes, you will know every person of the town by name, or you may remember their postal address or postcodes or telephone number by heart. But that is as far as you will go, because the nature of work in a post office is not progressive in nature. On the other hand, if you are a physics or mathematics teacher and you have or professor and you have spent 20 years in that field, the nature of the job is such that you will read new books, you will read research, you will practice your craft. So after 20 years, when you have 20 years of knowledge under your belt, you will obviously look like a genius to a normal person. Same is the case with a business professional or a person working in stock market or financial market. The nature of the business is progressive, and that is to even survive, you need to learn new skills, read, make yourself better. And that is why we normally see that businessmen, entrepreneurs, after 10-20 years, they are paid high salaries, and they are known as smart people in their field. On the other hand, fields like plumbing or gardening and postman and fields where there is no need to learn new skills, those people stay at their level. So the nature of the job that you are involved in is also of significant importance. So the last point, I can say a lot about this topic, but I'll just finish it by saying the last topic, and that is intelligence does not matter. It actually does not matter. Anybody who has an IQ of 100 or a little more is good enough a person to do anything that he wants. In fact, Warren Buffett once said, if you have an IQ of more than 120, sell it. Yes, sell it, because it is stopping you from doing great things. So in academic life, we see that a child which can read a little faster, learn a little faster, is considered as better. But in real life, learning something 10 minutes or an hour ahead of other people makes no difference, because in real life we have a long time to learn the basic few skills. So as a last point, as a bonus point, I will highlight one thing. Failure to grasp basics is what makes you dumb. If you don't understand the basics of anything, that makes you dumb. This is a very important point, so let me explain this to you. A student in class ninth, when he is exposed to algebra or and he does not practice his basics, when the same student moves to the 10th grade, he will not have the basics or the fundamentals of algebra under his belt. So there is no way that he will understand the next level algebra or any difficult topic. So as long as we do not understand the basics of any subject, we will stay weak, we will look dumb, and it will appear as if our brain is not capable of processing even the minimum data that is around us. On the flip side, the same point can be looked at it like this. If you get 1% of basic concepts of any subject, you will immediately understand 80% of what is being said. Let's suppose if you take out some time, a week or so, and understand basic economic terminologies like GDP, how currencies fluctuate, what is foreign exchange, how does central bank operate, and within a matter of, if you dedicate 2 or 3 hours of study every day, in a matter of a week, you will be able to understand all the financial news, almost all of it, and you will be able to process the financial news, discuss about it, talk about it, and suddenly you would appear to people as a very smart person. Similarly, a computer programmer may know a lot about programming, but as a layman, a normal person just needs few basic concepts. What is cloud? What is CPU? What are the main programming languages there are? What are the latest trends? And just knowing these few things, he can suddenly participate in all the conversations, give his opinions, and talk about the things. He becomes part of the conversation. And that is why it is said that leaders are readers. Reading make us smart or intelligent. They may or may not make us smart, but that is how we appear. So I have crammed up a lot of points in this talk. I try to make notes and make it like a very deliverable lecture, but I was unable to do it because every time a new point, a new thing would creep up. So I have just presented it to you the way it is, and hope you get something out of it. And thank you very much.